people who do supposedly amazing things are just normal people who have focused on a craft and mastered it and become very good at it. And just because they happen to be very good at one or two things doesn't mean they're good at everything. Doesn't mean that they're special people. They're just normal people who have somehow been able to become experts in a certain field, and that makes them extraordinary in that field. But they are not extraordinary people. So welcome back, Jackie, to the show. And yes, this is your turn to put me in the hot seat.
Okay, David. Well, I've been giving this some thought, but because I'm on holiday, I found it quite difficult to get the old grey matter going. So here we go. If you could go back and look at yourself when you were 10 years old, what is the number one lesson that you wish that you could give yourself or tell yourself?
The number one lesson? I think it would have been to realize that everybody's the same. And by that I mean is that people who do, what we terminate extraordinary things, where they become, great athletes, great singers, great whatever, businessmen, whatever it is, businesswomen, we tend to, as a society, put them on a pedestal, and that somehow they've got extraordinary powers or amazing talents that others don't have. And if you can learn at a young age that people who do supposedly amazing things are just normal people who have focused on a craft and mastered it and become very good at it. And just because they happen to be very good at one or two things doesn't mean they're good at everything. Doesn't mean that they're special people. They're just normal people who have somehow been able to become experts in a certain field, and that makes them extraordinary in that field. But they are not extraordinary people.
No, okay.
And certainly in the early part of my tennis career, I had, players and certain people and coaches and stuff like on pedestals, thinking that somehow, but you're actually then saying that they're somehow, better people. And they're not. They just happen to be good at something. And if you learn that at a very young age, you don't get overawed by situations. And I think one of the great pleasures of growing old and learning that lesson, and it, it was rooming with a Swedish player, actually, who was very good at the time, who I thought was just as cool as a cucumber and just so together. And the guy was an absolute mess. And his life was just crazy and everything. And it was like a big eye-opener to me. It was like, oh, wow. Here's a guy I thought who was just like had it all together. And I ended up, talking to him and giving him some help on stuff and everything. I was like, oh, wow. So once, you break that myth, but I think it really holds people back a lot because they get overawed by situations and people, and that can actually stop people from maybe getting ahead because they don't have the belief that they can be as good as these people, when the reality is, just keep doing what you're doing and get good at it and understand they're just normal people who do certain things really well.
I can see that.
And I think it starts as a kid because, you have teachers and they, you see these teachers, and parents and all adults as gods, that they know everything and they're so smart and everything like that. And to try and, I think talk to kids in a way that they realize that, being human and normal is fine, often people who are average but are very consistent become extraordinary
because of the consistency.
Because of the consistency.
Yeah.
And I think if I've learned anything, that it's the consistency that counts, the persistence and the determination to just keep going down a path and leads to getting, more of what you want and stuff than simply being unbelievably good at it. And nobody starts off unbelievably good at anything.
No.
Certainly certain people have genetic, advantages and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's the consistency that generally wins the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, it is about just chipping away at things.
And
small steps.
I think one of the things is everybody's trying to be kind of extraordinary.
But we are all extraordinary in our own way.
Well, if everybody is extraordinary, then that's ordinary.
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe you just want to be ordinary and consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, extraordinary only remains extraordinary if only a few people can do it.
True. So we're all unique in our own way. We're all unique in our own way, and it's about us being able to feel that we can grow into to reach our potential. Now, some people's full potential in something may mean that they are head and shoulders above everybody else in whatever it is they're doing, and some may term them to be extraordinary. But actually, the extraordinary people are sometimes just the people that have reached their full potential, but that might be a lot less than other people.
Yeah, and I think media is a big part of it, because when I was growing up, a chef didn't really mean that much. But now chefs have been on TV and everything like that. They become, these superstars. Well, I think you could have, if you had car mechanic, competitions and, finding the best car mechanic, suddenly you'd create superstar car mechanics. Or
it could be an opportunity there.
yeah. So, whatever kind of gets televised and put in the psyche there makes people into, stars.
Yeah.
And that, those shows in one way should be taken for what they are, is showing that normal people doing something very well, whether it's, cooking or whatever, become extraordinary because they just happen to be good at whatever that is they do.
Yeah.
But they're just normal people. And and everybody has their problems, and just because somebody's rich doesn't mean, and I think that's, I have said this before on this program is, if material things were the answer to happiness, then how come you have poor people that are happy and poor people that are unhappy, and you have rich people that are happy and rich people that are unhappy, and right through the spectrum, you have happy and unhappy people. So it can't be what's around us; it has to be what's inside us, because otherwise, you'd have rich people happy, poor people sad, and unhappy. But it doesn't work like that. At every level of society, you have happy and unhappy people.
And I think that's possibly a lesson that we learn as we get older, especially the pressures of social media now, and marketing and commercialism, and just the way that the world seems to move.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of always been like that. It's just that the internet now brings it into your home and brings it into your life so easily. Yeah. And so much of it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, the choice. Whether it's TV channels or washing powders, or, you go like, which one do I have? They're all shouting at you like they're the best. But, so.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it. Just take one. They'll all be okay.
Yeah.
I noticed that about cars,
Yeah.
In the old days, cars would break down a lot. Now, not that much. They're all pretty damn good. So just pick one.
Yeah. The colour's important.
Colour's important, yeah.
Yeah. So my other question I have is, if this was your last day on Earth. Okay. But you're quite happy about it. What is
Can you be happy about that?
Well, who knows? Who knows? We'll find out one day, perhaps, but we'll never know. We'll never know. It'll be our last day. This time around, anyway. Yeah. What is the number one thing, the number one lesson that you would love to leave for your grandchildren?
Wow, that's a really, really interesting question. The number one lesson will probably change tomorrow or the day after, but right now I would say just be who you are and everything will be okay.
Great lesson.
I think if I look back, the times where I haven't had that much fun, the times where things have been a little difficult, is when I haven't been myself.
Okay.
You know, so you're trying to be something a little different to fit a situation. And that's always really uncomfortable.
Takes energy.
Yeah, and it just doesn't feel right because it's not you. So when you're doing things because of pressures from other people or a situation to behave in a way that's not you, I think that's well, from personal experience, that's when things feel bad, and they never turn out well, and somehow people feel it that you're not being
genuine.
Yeah, I think it'd be that, you know, if you're genuine, things will be all right. You know, and not everybody will like you, and not everybody will dislike you. You know, if you're yourself and people have to take you for who you are, and those who can't take you for who you are, you don't want them in your life.
Exactly.
You know, and I think if they can live more or less to that, yeah, and I think, you know, it's I suppose another lesson I've learned really from myself is everybody's a hypocrite. I mean, everybody can pretend that, you know, that they do things really well, or that they, you know, have certain beliefs and everything like that. But when push comes to shove, sometimes what we believe in or whatever changes. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's you know, everybody has.
Well, our opinions change, and I think that's one of the challenges with people, especially as people get older, is being open to different opinions.
Yes, yeah. I think it's important to try to keep evolving, and you know, I think one of the greatest lessons you can do is what I learned in debating society, which I loved, is we'd be given a side of an argument to win, and then we'd switch roles and have to argue the other side, and it's amazing when you realize that you can convince yourself almost of anything on both sides of the coin, and therefore, you know, there's always three truths, you know, what one side believes, what the other side believes, and the actual truth, which we never really know exactly what it is. But getting back to what a great question, actually. Just be yourself and things will be okay.
Yeah, that sounds pretty perfect to me.
Thank you very much. Brilliant.
Thank you.